Good afternoon, and welcome to the Arthur Chat Show. I'm your host. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Arthur Chat Show. I'm your host, Lynda D. Brown, and we are going to be interviewing Arthur Frank Daidone. I believe I'm pronouncing his name correctly. We're going to be chatting about his book, Life Equation: A Journey Toward Finding Greater Purpose. Frank has not logged on yet. I just sent a message to his publicist to have him to log on. So we're looking forward to really chatting with Frank about his book. Now, while we're waiting, I do have some little housekeeping items I'd like to talk about regarding the Arthur Chat Show. Um, there are some things that are taking place in my life, and I have made the difficult decision to go ahead and end the broadcast of the Arthur Chat Show after our very last show on May 13th of 2017. That means that the show did a very successful, almost 5.5 month, 5.5 year run. We started in October of 2011, and to end in May of 2017, I think is really a testament to what we did as far as reaching our goals of trying to help brand new authors get their work out to the public. So for those authors that have appeared on the show, I'd like to thank you and tell you that I really appreciated you coming on the show and talking about your book and allowing me the pleasure of interviewing you to help you get your word out about your book. And to each and every publicist out there that found me and work together with me so that I can assist you with helping you get your clients' books out there. I'd like to thank each and every one of you as well. I've ran into some terrific people. And once I get back into my own career of getting back into writing full time and spending more time with my family, I'll be utilizing these wonderful people that I met in my journey as the executive producer and the host of the Arthur Chat Show. Like I said, we've had a long journey. My plans are to get all of our videotapes and possibly get them all, make sure that we have a playlist with all of the interviews being ran, the Google Hangouts and the Arthur Chat videos. And there are some authors out there that I probably have forgotten or didn't get a chance to send you your video link. So for those of you that are still, that have been interviewed, I'd say, because we started doing the YouTube video link really last year, 2015, 2016. So if you were an author that I interviewed at the latter part of, well, let's just say 2016, and you did not get a copy of your YouTube video, because I definitely want to make sure that you guys get a copy of that video so that you can put it in your EPK, your electronic press kit. And so that way that people can, that are listening to you, and that is a great resource to this interview on the Arthur Chat Show. If you have an Author Central page on Amazon, and each and every one of you authors should have an Author Central page, which shows your picture, your information, your author bio, all your book titles in all their formats, and also your blog posts, your Facebook postings. This is a wonderful place. You can also upload your videos that you've where you're actually being interviewed about your book. That places you up there with our 6 and 7 figure, traditional authors and publishers. So this is just a great resource to use, and this is what I try to convey during this 5.5 year time that I did this, is that this is a great resource tool for you to put into your electronic media kit. It's not really about the actual show the day it takes place, because remember, all of my shows are also available on demand. So if you can't listen to the live broadcast, you can always go back and listen to the tape broadcast. And again, it's just a wonderful resource to use. Well, again, so basically, for those of you that are just tuning in, just wanted to let you know that we are going to be our last broadcast for the Arthur Chat Show will be May 13, 2017. And it's so funny that it actually ends up being one of my dearest friends' birthday. And she's one of the reasons why I'm going to be stopping the broadcast, because she's going through some health issues, and I want to be able to spend as much time with her as possible. So this is one of the reasons that I'm going to go ahead and end the show. But it's been a great run. I've enjoyed it, every bit of it. I've discovered things about myself doing this show that I never realized that I had the ability to do. But honestly, guys, all the thing I can tell you is if you really believe that you've been called to do something, and you reach these obstacles and these struggles, and I'm telling you, if you have a faith of God, you know, because as we all say, I'm a Christian author, and a lot of the stuff that I do write and promote are Christian authors. If you have that faith in God, I'm telling you, I learned how to make, I'll be 59 years old next month. I learned how to make a YouTube video using Windows Media Maker. And I also learned how to make videos on using the Apple products as well. So, yeah, so don't tell me what you can't do because you're older. You can't do it because you don't want to do it. But if you, like I mentioned, if you feel like you've been called to do something, either you're going to take advantage of that opportunity or you're going to sit back and let it pass you by and then live with regrets. One thing I can honestly say, if I left here tomorrow, I have no regrets. I've been wanting to write a book, be an author since I was about 10 years old. And now I have about 8 or 9 books on Amazon, um, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Smashwords, which puts them in all the ebook formats. I am here to tell you that you really don't want to leave this earth if there's a book inside of you. You could be releasing something that's going to benefit somebody and change their whole life. You just never know. So I really hope again with and here and look, can I share another drop of wisdom with you guys? When I first started this process in 2010, my first book, Invisible Enemies, came out in 2010. That I actually published myself because I was actually published with a hybrid traditional plus I worked with a publisher and did my first book once I was lost back in 2006. Well, between 2006 when that book came out, I decided to really study about publishing a book. It's very important to make sure you do your homework, and I did do that. So when book one came out in 2010, I tell you, it was like a dream come true. And then book all from the characters from book three, from book one, and then book three just took off all by itself. And actually, if you want to hear something that's really fascinating, for those of you that have read book one and book two, book three, we introduce a whole new family, the Jenkins family, who I absolutely adore. I did end the series with book three. And one of the words of wisdom that I was going to drop with you guys in 2010 when I started writing, we were all still doing the long 200, 300 page novels and, you know, selling them for like 99 cents, $1.99, $2.99 on Amazon in all formats. Well, guess what? It's 2017. And we've discovered that people don't have time to read. Want to have time to read all that. Just like fast food, we want it quick, fast, and in a hurry. Okay, so more and more indie authors and publishers are doing small books, shorter, like short story type books. So, you know, I just want to let you know. Oh, really? Okay. All right. Right in the middle of me, huh? Okay. So yeah, so there's no need to even worry about how to sit down and write a huge 200-page book. My most important, I have some nonfiction books based on the Author Chat show, the Author Chat guide books for authors. All of those are like under 50 pages. Most of them have been on Amazon's bestsellers list, and most of them have really good reviews on Amazon. So it's not about the length. It's about getting a good story, a good title, a good cover. And I'd say if you want to get started, just get started with ebooks. I'm going to basically pretty much stick with ebooks from this journey, from this point forward. The Invisible Enemy series were done, and my Powerful Prayer to Protect and Bless Your Family book were both done in paperback, ebook formats, and also audiobook. But going forward, my last book that I released in finally got it released in 2016. I actually started and had it almost finished in 2015, and then I started another job. So, and this is what's been eating into my time. So, this book was titled Blood Moons, Return of the Giants. And this is really, for those that are really on into the Christian books, this is a really good spirit. It's like a supernatural thriller. And it's based here in St. Louis. And I used the information as from my background, working at the St. Louis Public Library for years. So we've got some of the library branches in there. We talk about the book is actually based on the Cahokia Mounds. I've always been a huge fan of our Cahokia Mounds over in Collinsville. If you've ever been over there, you know, they've got these big, huge mounds, and I was like, okay, what's under that mount? Those mounds, it's got to be something more than dirt up under those mounds. So this book talks about what's under the mounds, and you could probably imagine what's under there, since the title is Blood Moon, Return of the Giants. I just discovered, as I was visiting a friend of mine, a couple of cities over, communities over for me in the Carondelet area, that we also have a Indian burial mound called Sugarloaf. So, and it's when I found it and I saw where it was, I was like, I've seen this place. So I've got some time off. I'm going to go by there again and maybe take some pictures and maybe do a book too for Blood Moons, because it's a really good, again, it's not even 100 pages, I don't think. It's 99 cents. It's just available in ebook format, and it's available in all formats. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it on Barnes & Noble, you can get it on Kindle, you can go to Smashwords and download it to each and every format. If you don't have it, if you can also ask your local library to order that and put it in their library, their ebook collection through Overdrive. It should be in there, okay? So it's just a lot of ways you can get your stuff out there. But now, if you're thinking about writing a book, don't put it off. I mean, this is just a really, really great time. And a lot of authors, myself included, as I'm beginning to look more and more, and for those of you that have actually listened to the show on a regular basis, I've talked about Amazon Studios over and over. Now, more and more people are beginning to use Amazon Studios to make their movies. You all know that the Manchester Under the Sea, or Manchester at the Sea, the movie with Casey Affleck, was actually made on Amazon, Amazon Studios. Spike Lee, Chirac, which is 2 thumbs down, was also produced through, or directed and produced and distributed through Amazon. So this is a great way, guys. I was just telling a friend of mine today about getting her songs on using Createspace and getting them out there on the Amazon platform so you can sell them. So it's a great way, you know, to do this. And it's time for me to really get back to what I started to do. Again, I wanted to do this so that I can assist other authors. I think I've done that. I feel very confident that it's now time for me to move on. And this is one of the reasons why. Not sure what happened to my guest, but the good news is I'm going to keep this one, and we're going to put this out there. So my guest today, we're going to have to try to reschedule Frank today because he apparently something happened, probably had some type of miscommunication, or hopefully nothing really bad. But we're going to definitely get this out there so that people can know what's going on with the Author Chat Show, since we are going to be shutting down after our May 13th broadcast. Well, we're going to go ahead and call it a day. I had my grandbabies last night, so sister's a little tired, so I'm going to go back and just chill for a couple hours before I start getting ready for the rest of the week. But thank you so much for being part of our listening audience over the years. Again, it's been my absolute pleasure to bring you this show and to introduce you to new authors and new books. If you've enjoyed the show, I'd love a tweet out, a thumbs up, a like on our Facebook fan page. We have an Author Chat Facebook fan page. We have a Twitter, Author Chat Twitter page. So, you know, I will be dismantling off probably not the Twitter. I love my Author Chat Twitters, and I'll be promoting my own books on there. So I'll probably keep that up. But I probably will take down the Author Chat Facebook page. Okay, but of course I'll keep up my own personal book pages that I have for the Invisible Enemy series and Powerful Prayer. And you Powerful Prayer people, all of my tribe on my Powerful Prayer to Protect and Bless Your Family Facebook page, I like to just say thank you, and may God bless each and every one of you. I love that book. That was a book that God actually woke me up at midnight and made me he really made me turn it. I was going to just do a Kindle book with it because my funds were kind of short. And he said, you get up and you turn that into a paperback book. And of course, being obedient, I did. And I told him, I said, okay, I will do this, but you know, my funds are limited. I don't have any money. The next direction I heard from him, honest to goodness, and this was audibly. So when people say they don't hear from the Lord audibly, I don't know who you follow, but I do. But and sometimes he does just inside, but a lot audibly. This time, when I know he says it audibly, I know he means it. So next thing I heard, honest to goodness, was he said, Createspace. So Createspace, I had an account there, but never used it. I had to reset my password, got in there. The first thing I saw was, and this is what I knew was God, cost me absolutely nothing to upload my work. And it was already done. I just had to get a back cover done because I already had the front cover. So I commissioned somebody to do my back cover for me. And I can tell you now, I did it on Fiverr.com, got somebody, paid him like 10 bucks. He did my back cover and my little spine for me, and boom, my stuff was on and available in ebook, paperback, and then I found a nice, wonderful voice narrator that did a audio book for me. And it's out there in all three formats, guys. So if you are a brand new Christian, a new follower of Jesus, or just haven't really prayed, or now's the time things are going on and you really want to do some strategic, because see, my prayer book, my book is called Powerful Prayer to Protect and Bless Your Family. It's not just your little, now I lay me down to sleep. No, this is strategic warfare prayers that unlock the keys to the kingdom of God so that we can live the abundant life that Jesus died on the cross for us to have. Boom. That should have been my title, but that would have been way too long. This book has strategic strategies for you to use, how to use your mouth. Be careful what you say. How to bind demonic spirits. How to loose what you want on earth. What's loosed on earth is loosed in heaven. What's loosed in heaven is loosed on earth. What's bound in heaven is bound on earth. How to plead the blood of Jesus. Always remember what Joshua, in the book of Joshua, when the Lord told Joshua, every place the sole of your feet treads upon, that have I given you. So when you find that place that you feel in your spirit that the Lord has placed you there, you take commandment over that. You walk that area. As a matter of fact, I'm glad I said that. I'm doing that with my other place of, I've got a place to do that tomorrow. I'm walking around that, and every place the sole of my feet tread upon, that have you given me. Make sure you keep you some anointing oil on hand. Okay, get you with a good Bible, a good Bible with a great translation that you can understand. Mine is actually a combination of the New International Version and the Message Bible. I grew up on the King James. I was in the church as a very young age, involved, not just going involved. So, because I've been reading the book of Revelations and the Bible from Genesis to Revelations for years, back and forth. Not saying that I'm an expert. I love the Bible because every time I pick it up, I find something different, or I could read about somebody saying something and I go and check it out, because when I hear something, I have to see if it lines up with the word. If it doesn't line up with the word, I kick it. Gotta go. Well, if I see it lines up with the word and it's something I've never really meditated on before, I'm going to spend some time on that and see if it's something that's going to work in my life. And that's really what the word does. It is basic instructions before leaving earth. That's what Bible stands for in my life. Okay. So and I'm going to tell you something, since I've really embraced it, because for those of you that know my story, and this is why you got to read Invisible Enemies, because that tells my story. I grew up in the church. Like I said, I got baptized at the age of 8 and was working in the church, a junior usher, Sunshine Band, Vacation Bible School. I'm talking the works. I've always had the Lord in my heart. However, at about 16, life was really beginning to give me some challenges, and I was looking for some power, some authority, because first of all, I'm a teenager, so I'm living in my parents' house. So you don't have too much authority. You don't have no authority and power. You get a job, have your own spot. But now I'm just dealing with some craziness with my friends and family members. So I started very innocently one day, picked up the local newspaper. My father, avid reader, just like I am, and we always picked up a newspaper, and so we had them around the house. And so I grabbed the funnies and we would read the comics, and happened to, after I finished the comics, just started kind of, flipping through the rest of the everyday section where our comics were in the St. Louis area. And boom, there's something called Sidney Omar's horoscope. What's a horoscope? I didn't even know what it was. I think I was about 16 years old. And so I just started reading it, and I was like, okay, what am I? Okay, my birthday is April 24th, so let's see, what does it say here? Oh, that says that I'm a Taurus. Oh, okay. All right, so what does it say for Taurus? Oh, okay. And so it started saying some things, and I started reading it on a regular. And then, of course, then I started getting the monthly. Then I started getting the little scrolls. I don't know if you guys remember the little scrolls that they used to sell at the grocery stores, or the, like the Magic Mark, or, those what we had back then, Magic Mark. Now they have 7-Elevens and Quick Trips. But they used to have the little blue scrolls that had your horoscope on there. I used to get those. Then I used to get Sydney Omar's yearly horoscope guide. And then I started, I was working for this, at this clinic, and this doctor that I was really good friends with, he was also, I think he was also a Maytars. And so we were talking about horoscopes one day, and I'm, sharing what little knowledge I had, and he was really impressed, because a lot of people just do it on the surface. I tend to go overboard, and I kind of really dig deep into it if it's something that interests me. And so I told him I had found this book at the bookstore. It was one of those big Llewellyn's, how to do your horoscope chart. It's like $25. And I told him, I said, when I get paid again, I'm gonna go get it. He goes, girlfriend, here. He reaches into his wallet, gets $30, hands it over to me. He said, you go buy it. All I ask you to do is just do my chart for me, and the book is yours. This was even before computers, guys. I got home, got into that book, studied it. I told him, I said, let me figure out what you are, and I mean, it broke it down. I'm not gonna get into all that. But I got in my little typewriter once I figured out who he was, and I typed up all the little stuff for him and stuff. He really enjoyed it. It became a business for me, guys. Then I delved into the tarot cards and all that kind of stuff. So chanting and all that stuff. So that's what Invisible Enemy series is about. It talks about how the main character, Abby, started off in the church. She's doing great in the church, and falls in love with this young man. His family was into the whole spirit guides, witchcraft, brotherhood, Illuminati type thing, and she gets caught up in it, and basically nearly killed her. Okay, so you guys have got to read it. It's a great read. We're trying to get it into the movies. We want to get that into the theaters, because it really teaches how this church, the church is, the Reverend is Reverend William Rollins, and his church, his wife Wanda Rollins in book 1, and their church, Grace Faith Church. Man, these people, he has them in the word. That's why I tell you, you get you a good Bible and get you a good word-based church, not a traditional church, not one that sit up and do crazy stuff. Get you a work that's based on the word, that's going to teach you the word. If you don't have one, let me recommend who I listen to, who the Lord sent me to once I saw my books, and I'm like, Lord, there's nobody in St. Louis teaching this. He sent me too. You might not like him. I don't care. I know he works for me on every level. Pastor and Dr. Bill and Veronica Winston up in Chicago, Illinois, Forest Park, Illinois. You can catch them at bwm.org, billwinstonministry.org. I live stream them every Sunday. And if I can't catch it on Sunday, I hit the replay, because I'm a partner. That's who I send my tithes to. That's who I send my tithes and my offerings to. And I also partner. Now that's who, to me, that's my church. Okay, I'm off base, so unfortunately I'm not. And I have no problem with that, because unfortunately, and I know this is sad to say, but I find that sometimes those in the church look at it more as a social outlet for them, as opposed to getting the help to learn, teach you how to live the abundant life that Lord Jesus died on the cross for us to have. He died a horrific life, and he did not do it so that we could work 5 days. We're not realizing our dreams. I just don't believe that. Okay. Yes, I'm still working for somebody, but I'm still doing me and waiting for God, right? If there's a season and a time for everything, that's how I look at it. But that being said, if you need a good, if you want to just get some good word teaching, I recommend Bill Winston Ministries. Also, Kenneth Copeland Ministry. I partner with them too. Love Kenneth and Glory, and Pastor George Pearson. Pastor George and Sister Gloria, they have taught me so much about prosperity and why we need prosperity. Because let me be honest. Can I bless you if I need to be blessed? It's just that simple, right? It's just that simple. If I need to be blessed, how can I be a blessing to you? We can't both. That's Stevie and Ray Charles. Stevie trying to teach Ray how to drive. Come on now. I need to be blessed so that when you say, Lynda, I lost my job and I'm going to lose my house, I can say, you know what, don't worry about it. I got a house that I got for rent. I'm putting you in there. You just get yourself situated. We'll talk about your rent later. Let's try to find you a job. That's how we should roll as Christians, okay? Not, oh, I got mine, so I don't care about you. That's unfortunately what we tend to see. That's why I like to get my word at home. Just keeping it real, okay? So that's just me. All right, so listen, I'm going to go ahead and finish this broadcast. Again, thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed bringing you, like I mentioned, new authors and new books on the Author Chat Show. It's been a pleasure being a part of having you guys be a part of my life, and I hope that I was a part of your life. And I wish you all the best. And we'll catch you back here next time on the Author Chat Show. Because, like I said, we'll be broadcasting up to May 13th. I have a few shows scheduled, but not a lot. Because, like I said, I'm trying to transition back into my personal life and back into my writing. So, listen, you guys go out, take care, make every day like it's the last day of your life. You know what I'm saying? If you got a dream, get it out there. Do not die with a book in you. That's all I ask. Peace.